Hey guys, this is a short video review of LG C8 OLED TV, and we'll do a product demo in this video as well, so stick around for that. The C8 LG OLED TV is basically mid-range OLED line by LG. So you have the entry level, which is the B8, you have the C8, and then you have the more premium models, which are the E8, G8, and then the W8. So with all these models, interestingly enough, there's not much difference between the C8 all the way up to W8. And what I mean by that is they all use Alpha 9 processor. So in terms of picture quality and motion handling, you're not going to see much difference between those models. The differences are only in design and cosmetics. For example, E8 features a glass panel, and the W8 is obviously the LG signature wallpaper TV. However, the entry-level B8 model, it's still featuring the Alpha 7 processor from 2017. So you might see some differences there if you put B8 and C8 side by side, especially if you're playing games or watching some content that's being upscaled, because that's where processor comes in to play a lot. So the C8 model that we have is a 65-inch OLED TV, and it currently retails for about $2,700 to $2,800 US. It's in terms of design, it's got a pretty sleek design. Being that it's an OLED TV, it's very thin from top to bottom, thinner than your smartphone even. Except for where the electronics box is. So at that point it gets a little thicker. That's where your hardware and your speakers are. And the TV itself sits on the Alpine stand. It's a pretty attractive design by LG for a stand, to be honest. It curves out in a really nice shape, and there is actually a real purpose for that. It's not just for show to say. Because the speakers are actually pointing downwards. So the purpose of the stand is to curve the sound out and point it towards the user. And it does sound pretty amazing, to be honest with you, without the soundbar or external sound system. But obviously, if you have a home theater system or a really expensive soundbar, then it's nothing compared to that. And around the back, you have the basic set of connections. So you have 4 HDMI inputs, and all 4 of them are HDMI 2.0B. You have 3 USB ports, Ethernet port, built-in Wi-Fi, and even a tuner for satellite TV. The platform is still using LG's WebOS, and there's not much, no major changes from last year's models. And to control your TV, you have a Magic Remote, which I gotta say it's pretty great having this Magic Remote. And I think every smart TV should have this. LG's 65-inch C8 model uses the WRGB OLED panel by LG Display. OLED panels, as you may already know, are capable of achieving absolute blacks, since every one of their 8.3 million pixels are able to turn on or off independently of each other. So this achieves absolute blacks because when there's a dark scene or there's nothing there, those pixels are actually off. And this is only done by OLED technology. So this also adds contrast to other colors, and they look much better, much brighter. There's pop to brighter colors, and even your SDR material that's being upscaled looks actually really good. Also, as we mentioned, the C8 features the new Alpha 9 processor, and this is an upgrade from the Alpha 7 from last year's models, which 2017 models. So you get much better motion handling, much better picture quality because the processor is actually much faster. In terms of other things that C8 supports, you have the Dolby Vision support, you have HDR10 support, HLG, pixel level dimming. Something new that LG added to 2018 models is black frame insertion. So this is something that not everyone likes, but it gives a smooth motion flow to the material you're watching. This is good for gamers, but not everyone prefers that. Kind of gives a soap opera effect, and we'll see that in our demo in a little bit. Okay, let's take a look at the picture settings on your LG C8. So first I should mention that LG C8 comes preloaded with a lot of different apps. You got the Prime, Amazon Prime Video, Netflix, Hulu, Sling, YouTube, and all the other different apps. There's a lot more that you can download as well. You also have this Dolby Access. This is going to feature some videos made by Dolby to feature Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. If you want to take a look at that, pretty cool stuff. So let's go into the menu and all settings. First thing you want to do is when you get your TV, set the energy savings to off. This is going to be auto by default. So you want to set that to off because it automatically dims and reduces the brightness of the TV. So I don't like this, and pretty sure most people won't. So just turn that off and you should be good to go. Then in the picture mode settings, we have quite a few options that you can change to. You have vivid and standard. This is for people basically like their color temperature, kind of cool on the cooler side, and more of a saturated colors and not for color accuracy. You have the APS and you have the cinema. This is by default the Dolby Vision picture mode. So if you're watching something in that features Dolby Vision, your TV is going to automatically set it to this mode. Then you have the sports, if you're watching sports, game, and HDR effect. Now this is kind of cool. HDR effect, this is if you're watching some SDR material, and this is LG's attempt to kind of give it an HDR feel. So we're going to take a look at that later. This is pretty cool. And then the last three are basically expertly calibrated for your TV, the 3 picture modes. The ones that I've been using are bright and dark room. So bright, obviously, if you're watching in a bright room, and dark room if all your lights are turned off. So let's take a look at the bright room. We have it set to that. You have all these different options that you can actually customize. So your OLED light, contrast, brightness, and then sharpness. If you don't want additional sharpness, you can set that to 0. Then you have all these other options and expert control and picture options. So in the expert control, you have the white balance here. This by default is set to warm 2 for this picture mode, but I reduced it to warm 1. And then you have other features here as well. You can set it to cool, medium, all the way up to warm 3. And let's go back. You also have the gamma setting here. You could, I think by default it's set to 1.9, and I was playing around with it. I like it at 2.2, so you can adjust this however you want. And that's pretty much it for expert controls. There's all these other options if you want to play with, like dynamic contrast, super resolution. Now in the picture options is where you have the noise reduction, ambient noise reduction, and then the true motion. This is going to be set to clear. This is basically what most people are talking about, black frame insertion that LG has added in these new models. And this is going to be set to clear. So if you don't like this kind of like a soap opera effect, which the smooth is going to kind of give you that, or even clear, I didn't really like that. Obviously if you're playing games on it, you want to set this to clear, but if you're watching movies and kind of like Netflix stuff, might as well turn this off because you'll get much better picture quality that way. So we have it set to bright room. Let's take a look at something Netflix original, The Haunting of the Hill House. So you'll notice that in if your TV supports Dolby Vision, if you have basically Dolby Vision support in your TV, Netflix is going to give you this logo and have Vision next to it. So this means that this title basically has Dolby Vision support. And as soon as you play this, you're going to see that your TV is going to adjust to the proper picture mode, like right here, Dolby Vision, altered carbon. So this also has the Dolby Vision, as you can see right here. And if we play that, you'll see all the nice colors, and it automatically switched to the proper picture mode. So if you're watching SDR content and you want to experience what it would look like in HDR, or LG's attempt to make it look like HDR, what you want to do is go into your menu, and once you press your menu button, your short menu comes up here. You want to go into picture mode and set it to HDR effect, and it's gonna have strong, medium, or low. So let's keep it as strong. It's gonna keep OLED light at 100% and see what it looks like. I gotta say, it's not bad watching SDR content and what LG's HDR effect is. The colors definitely do have a pop. So in terms of benefits for the LG OLED C8 TV, you have amazing bright colors, all sorts of different picture modes, 3 or 4 of them I believe, auto-calibrated by experts, so you don't have to spend money on calibration unless you're a perfectionist. Then you have obviously absolute blacks, courtesy to OLED panel, and wide viewing angles, so you don't have to trade between contrast ratio or viewing angles, IPS versus VA LCD panels. And amazing gameplay thanks to black frame insertion and Alpha 9 processor by LG, which gives it a very smooth motion handling for gaming. And HDR10 support, Dolby Vision support, so you have all that going on this TV. So the question a lot of you may have is probably, should you wait for the 2019 models, which are shipping in April 2019, or should you buy the 2018 models? And it's very simple actually. I made a video in detail to compare the C9 and the C8 models, all the different features that C9 is going to feature, and do you really need those? But in short, C9, B9, and all the 2019 models are obviously going to retail for full price when they come out. So if you can get a 2018 model for under 2K US dollars, C8 for example, you should definitely buy that. Unless you're planning to keep the TV for 10 to 15 years, then you may look for 2019 models. But other than that, I would definitely go for the 2018 models. And thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you find this helpful. Thank you.